So those are some of the basic data types we work with in Python and any programming language for that matter. Programming is all about manipulating data and moving it around, so one thing we need to do is to be able to save a value and hold on to it for later. We do that with these things called variables. So here's how we make a variable. X equals 4. So x is just the name of the variable. So x is a variable and 4 is the value. You can use any other alphabetical letter in place of x to define a value to a variable, and we use a single equal sign to assign a value to a variable, whereas we use the double equal sign where we used previously over here to compare values in booleans. So once we have that defined, we see that Python does not allow x to equal to any other number than 4. So this allows us to simply compare the value that's stored in x. So since x is a variable, you can really name the variable whatever you want. It doesn't have to be a single letter. You can also just do my variable equals 6, and that defines my variable to the value 6. So we can use any of the arithmetic operators that we previously worked with, which is my variable equals my variable multiplied by 3. We just multiplied this value, put that in here, and multiplied with 3. So now my variable has an updated value. What do you expect this to be? Press enter, and you get 18. So if you use the same variable name and define it multiple times, it kind of, overlaps and updates the value of the variable. So if we do compare this variable with any other number, we see that it's true. So my variable has updated to the value of 18, returns as true. So again, this is not limited to numbers. We can do the same thing with strings. We'll go back to x, define it as hello, and also we can update this with hello plus we want the operator to return hello world. So we'll do hello plus world. So we have x updated over here. The value is updated. So once we press return with x, we get hello world back. And that's the basics of what Python can do with strings and numbers. You don't need to memorize all these. You can always find it online. We just want you to be fond of what Python can do. And now we'll work with functions. Python can also make mathematical operations to operate easily. So by simplifying what we need to do. So let's say we have 3 variables, x, y, and z, and assign different values to each. Now, let's say we want to have the 4th power of every variable. So we want x to the power 4 y to the power of 4, and z to the power of 4. What would you do? With what we have so far, all we can really do is literally write everything down like that and get x returned. But we can't do that for each and every value that we have. And in the real world, you really have a lot of variables to deal with. So we will use this thing called functions in order to simplify this and make everything easier to do. So a function is basically just a block of code that can be reused. So basically, this is what a function looks like. A and colon. So here, def is used to signal that we are defining a function. And exp4 is basically the function that we have, the name of the function, but you really can name it whatever you want. We just have it as exp4 because we know that we want to have these numbers to the power of 4 as a value. Now these parentheses contain what's called the arguments to the function. Again, it doesn't have to be A, you can use any other letters that you want. But basically, it means that whenever the user inputs the function, we will call it A. So you want this to not overlap with any other variables that you have because that will mess up with the function. The interpreter will be confused in which variable to read. So we'll press enter with that and press tab in order to make that indentation. In Python, the spacing at the beginning of the line is very important, so you must use this indentation to show which part of the code is part of the function. So here we will write return because we want the interpreter to return the value of A multiplied by A multiplied by A. So basically, this function works as a variable. A is a variable for the other variables, so it's a double overlap, I guess. It's a double stage, and because we have this defined now, so you have to double enter it so that we tell the interpreter that this is the end of the function. And now if we have exp4 and put in y or x into it, we get the fourth power to 4 and even exp4 to z. Oh, here we have a huge number because I used this as a demonstration, but this by itself has already updated the value of x to 256. So this number is very big, but if you only had just these before this function, you would have 4 to the power of 4. But yeah, so basically that's how it works. That's how the function works. So we also have exp4 and y. We will get the 6 to the power of 4 is 1296. It's very cool. If you can play around with these functions, it's very neat to see how it also works with strings. Let's define the function as you want the interpreter to return anything like introduce themselves. Introduce using a string. So we want that to return my name is, and a string. So with this we know, let's say introduce the function, and we can put, if you want your own name to be in it, my name is Jessica. Then we get my name is Jessica. Oh, the space isn't there. But if you put the space in it, you will be able to introduce str. Let me do that again. Return my name is plus a string. Introduce Jessica. Introduce Jessica. Then we have my name is Jessica. This could also work with numbers when you need complex function, when you have different arithmetic operations in one function. You can do whatever number you want. So if you have if you want to multiply 10 and I guess divide that, or subtract, I don't know, subtract 34 from that, and you can ask it to return x. With this function, we will have complex, and then let's say if the number is 130, we get the function all done already. So this function can be used to really simplify all the operations that you need to do, and yeah, make everything simplified so that you can reuse a function for any other variables that you may have. So that's it with the basic language, the basics of Python. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a fun time fidgeting around with this Python language. Thank you.